Hi everyone. So, Titanic The Legend goes on. This is an Italian animated musical film, and the original Italian version was released on September 15th, 2000, whilst the English dub was released later in 2001. So I'm thinking, the first thing you're probably thinking when you clicked onto this video is, why do I want to talk about this? Well, the thing is, I've reviewed many things and reacted to many shows in different videos that I've done, but the things that I've always done and reacted to and reviewed are things that I genuinely like, things that a lot of people think are good. But in this case, this is something that's so bad that I wanted to give it a go. I really wanted to give something that most people hate, including me. I wanted to give that a go. So, yes, Titanic The Legend Goes On is an animated musical based on the horrific event of the RMS Titanic in 1912. I say that it's based on it, but it's not really based on the event. It's just a story that happens to take place aboard the Titanic and happens amidst the build-up to the sinking of the ship and the aftermath as well. As I say, this film has a forced happy ending, which is certainly not right for a Titanic film, but it's a kid's film, isn't it? So it has to have a happy ending. So the plot of the film basically is that focuses around this poor girl who is aboard the ship with her stepmother and two selfish stepsisters. Yeah, first rip-off. And I will say quickly that this film rips off so many classic animated characters. I mean, literally every character you see in the film is a rip-off of either a Disney character or a Warner Brothers character. And also some Don Bluth characters as well. There's a group of Mexican mice, because yeah, there's a half human, half talking animal cast in this. There's Mexican mice that clearly rip off Speedy Gonzales. There's a mouse family of a mother, father, and son who constantly gets into trouble. An American Tail. There's a nasty cat belonging to another villain in the show, or another antagonist as such, who I think doubles as Lucifer for Cinderella, as well as the nasty cat in Garfield. But yes, so this focuses mainly around this girl who was left by her birth mother to her to this evil stepmother and two selfish stepsisters. Sorry, I can't talk properly today. And she has a locket with a picture of her real mother in it that makes her determined one day to find her. And I will say that the locket is clearly another rip-off directly from the James Cameron film, as clearly that's what this is, a rip-off, a cash-in of the James Cameron film, just a kid-friendly version. And the locket, yes, and this makes her determined to find her real mother. And at the same time, there is a rich first-class passenger, a young man named William, who's travelling with his nanny. And what we learn is that the nanny had a daughter that she had to give up. Oh, I wonder who she could be. Right, so of course what happens is basically they come across each other, and the characters fall in love, and I will tell you that this is so bad, and the animation is so poor. The edited version, which is the main version I'm talking about, honestly, it's like an express train watching it. There's no build up to anything. It's just jumping from one scene to the next without any proper meaning. The dialogue is completely terrible. Literally all the voice acting in the film sounds like it's delivered with no passion. Like, okay, the voice actors basically said, "Oh, I want to do this now. I want to grab my paycheck and run." And Another big problem is that the edited version, because there are, yes, if I haven't said already, there are two versions of this film. There is the edited version, and the far less well-known version, which is unedited, which has a slightly improved animation. The animation was remastered, and actually, in that case, the plot does properly move forward, but it's equally just as bad, because both versions have the same problem of reusing the same dialogue, if not the same animation. But the edited version of this film constantly reuses the same animation sequences in so many scenes. Just I think clearly, just because this was clearly so cheap that just to make it a proper length movie, they had no choice but to reuse so many different sequences, and it just literally makes no sense. Honestly, and as I said, this film has a forced happy ending. With the two main characters, Angelica and William, they survive the events of the Titanic, and they get married, and all the animal cast get a happy ending as well. There's a narration at the end of the film by the American Tail rip-off Little Mouse that basically tells of everyone's happy ending. Alright, so a Titanic film with a happy ending. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, not that the James Cameron film didn't kind of get a sort of happy ending for the character of Rose, because it's been highly debated whether or not the end sequence of her going back to the Titanic and then meeting up with Jack again with that final kiss scene, there's been debate whether that was a dream or whether she's actually died and gone to the Titanic heaven. But in this case, yeah, we know for a fact that the characters do get a happy ending. Now, another main aspect of the film is the music, and the first musical number in this film is a rap music video by a dog. And I swear to God, it is just so... I mean, that is just shocking. If you've watched this film, you'll immediately think, what the devil? It's an abomination that they're telling a story of a tragic event where over 1,500 people died, and just to keep kids' eyes fixed on the screen, they decided to add in a early 2000s style rap music video done by a dog that features the dog in a jersey and a cap with other animals with the other animals in the scene doing dancing and actually DJing. Ugh, it's so bad. And there's a song, a slow ballad sung by the first class singer on the ship, Molly. A slow ballad called "Holding Me," which isn't actually a bad song. It's a good song, but it was wasted on this abomination of animation. It could have been used in a much better movie. And so that's one shame, just that such a nice song, clearly inspired, I think, by Celine Dion's hit song from the Cameron film, then that had to be wasted. But yeah, honestly, I mean, when I first watched the film all the way through, and that rapping dog sequence, it reminded me thinking of kind of watching a movie on television, and you get a commercial break, and in the break you see a music video, because that's just kind of what it is. It has no relevance to the story. The scene just goes right out of the main plot, and out of nowhere, this dog starts doing this rap number. Ugh. Bad. Yeah, so, if you want to know how I know about this movie, well, I will say that it has become more popular, not for the right reasons, but since 2009, when when the Nostalgia Critic did a review in his early series of reviews, I first saw that. Then I decided to watch this film all the way through. I decided to watch the complete movie, because I was aware of it before seeing that review, because I do remember seeing the video on video shop shelves when I was younger, but I'd never seen any of it, and I just think, well, it's a wonder to me that, the Nostalgia Critic probably did the right thing to review it, so it'll put people off watching it, and also, it's a hell of a film to make fun of. It's the right film if you want something to make fun of, because I tell you, you can rip the piss out of this just from beginning to end. It's so bizarre. But yeah, so honestly, if you want to watch a Titanic movie but not the James Cameron movie, please don't watch this one, because it's just a cheap knockoff, forced child-friendly version. And honestly, why? Why would you put money, time and effort into making something like this? I really honestly don't get it. Okay, the success of the Cameron film was likely to inspire rip-offs and knock-off type movies. But the idea that things would sink this low, ugh, bad, very bad. Okay, so that's really what I can say about this movie. I won't go on for too long, but as I say, if you've not seen this, please don't watch it. There'll be plenty of other things you could watch with your 70 minutes, or 82 minutes if you chose to watch the unedited version. As I say, the only version that's available to get on physical media currently, I think, is this this edited version. There is a DVD available, and since the Nostalgia Critics review, there have been many more copies of it available to buy. I see them nearly in every second-hand shop I go to. But prior to that, copies of this were very hard to find. Despite that, I do remember seeing it in some mainstream video retailers, but clearly I don't think it would ever have sold that many copies. Yeah, okay, so that's my review/rant of Titanic The Legend Goes On. I hope that you've enjoyed it, despite this movie being so bad. But nonetheless, thanks for watching. You're all awesome, and I'll be back soon. Bye.